Amanda, Hannah, and then Dr. Miguna comes in. And Hilary and Wanjiru, when you want to speak anytime, just chime in. Please, 2 minutes.
Yeah, 2 minutes, Marge. Thank you so much for reminding people. 2 minutes, guys. And also, we are saying that so many people are requesting the mic. So when you're done, you will allow us to drop you so to bring more people on the speaker. Thank you, Marge. Back to you.
Thank you, Level. Thanks, Marge. I dropped out. I'm sorry. I don't even know whether the two questions were clarified, but I'll go straight to the third question. It was on accountability. I was to suggest to Miguna that we can only leverage on and harness on what we have. That is technology, which is like the space we have here. And being 2024, we cannot go back to the older systems that have continued to fail. That is the paper and ballot. I've been in a space where somebody has been suggesting blockchain technology. Does the Constitution allow us to use something like that, like a blockchain technology, in terms of conducting a new elections? Can we use blockchain technology? If we are to choose a new commission and reconstitute a new IEBC, can we leverage on technology in terms of doing the new elections? Because the last election, there was, in terms of statistics, there was about 8 million that did not register. 18 million did not register. 8 million registered but did not vote. So for us to capture everyone, can we use block technology to harness and for them to believe that they cannot believe? Thank you.
Thanks, Nduta. Amanda and Hannah Ali, in that order.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak. So I'll just try and be quick as possible. So it's clear that the organs of the state protect themselves. And here we're dealing with a corrupt government that's been captured. So we can't negotiate with them and expect them to meet our demands, starting with the establishment of an IBC. I would also theorize that those who have benefited from previous regimes would also not wish us to succeed because we plan to right historical injustices, grand corruption, land grabbing, etc. So given that we don't have the resources of the sitting government, NIS, CIA, KDF, etc., how do we go about getting rid of him? It's clear that time is of the essence because the longer we delay, the more we give room for his divide and conquer tactics, infiltration of his agents into our movement, and loss of our momentum and energy. And last Thursday, I believe we were very close to our goal. But at the last minute, the movement was drawn into turmoil, and there was aggressive waves of messages insisting people would be killed if they attempted to protest at State House. So again, the question is, what do we do now? Like, how do we get rid of him as soon as possible? What's the best strategy that we could use? Because clearly he is succeeding as far as scuttling the movement. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Amanda. We go to Anahali, and then Dr. Miguna can take a go and just also give a small summary of the suggestion he already made. Hannah?
Thank you, Mark, my sister, Hilary, and Wanjiru. And hello to the one and only Dr. Miguna. Habari gani? Ujambo? Na Wakenya wote nawasalimia. And thank you for being a voice of the voiceless, Dr. Miguna. That is, and I hope we were your voice when they tried to shut you down. Now, that said and done, there's a lot of misinformations going on and misleading informations and all sorts of mayhems going on, especially on the social media. But there is one thing that I would like to, might not be the way forward, but it's also the way forward. If we get to, how do I put this? Okay, I'll put it in simplest way I can. A lot of people are in this position that they think if we ask Ruto to step down, everything is going to fall apart, and nobody wants that, obviously. And at the same time, how in the best way, how you can make people understand that things are already falling down. We cannot get worse than where we are. And what does it mean for Kenya to be the non-NATO ally member of the U.S.? And how does that hinder Kenyans? How does, those things from the West, and how do they cripple us as Kenyans and as Africans? Thank you very much.
Thanks, Hannah. Over to you, Dr. Terry.
Yeah, thank you very much. I will be brief. I will try to be brief because I am sure if people listen to me carefully, and if you are here, I have basically answered all the questions that have been asked, but I will go back to them. I will start with the question that was asked: how do we get rid of him? Because I think that's even where I ended my initial presentation. And this is something I have been saying. And if Kenyans listened to me in 2017, 2018, we would not be here. This is partly because of the betrayal that was there in 2018. I said, and I still say today, if you have 1 million people on the street or more, let's say 10 million, Ruto will go before you can open your eyes. He will be in Washington, D.C. He will get a private jet or whatever. He will run so fast that you would not even know how he left. So really, it is so simple. I don't know why people don't get it. You get 1 million plus people on the street and Ruto is history. Just the same way they ran away so fast from parliament and we didn't even have 10,000 in parliament buildings. Not even 10,000. And they were gone. These people are so weak. People don't just realize how weak they were. There was a man called Ceausescu, okay, in Eastern Europe. He was a president. He used to be so brutal. And he was thumbing his nose on people until people showed up on the street and literally tore him into pieces with their bare hands, with his wife. It is so simple, my friend. He will not be able. Look, Mugabe was in power for more than 30 years, maybe 40 years, close to 50, and went overnight because 1 million people showed up on Harare streets. Compaore, who killed Sankara, the great revolutionary leader, was gone in Burkina Faso within 2 minutes with less than 1 million people on the street. In Philippines, Marcos was 100 times more powerful than Ruto and closest to the US 1 million times more than Ruto, and was gone within a day. So no, the formula is there for people, for students of revolution and students of history. And I'm talking about popular, peaceful revolution. These people did not get arms. In Philippines, they didn't have arms. In Zimbabwe, they didn't have arms. In Burkina Faso, they didn't have arms. They simply did it on the street. The military will join you once they realize that this is too powerful. As you have seen, the people even prefer the military right now because they are not extorting them. And when they do, they take 500 instead of 1,000, which the police are taking. Essentially, the police who are brutal, who have killed people, who have run away, who cannot stand even 100,000 people in the CBD, will not be there when 1 million people show up. And the military will join the people. And the military cannot turn against the people when the people are so much that you cannot do anything. They will join the people and they will help in the transition. I had said all of them go home, the entire regime, so that we can transform the state. A state that was set up by the colonialists in Berlin in 1884. It was not set up for Africans. So that is how you get rid of Ruto. You don't even have to reach State House. But when you do, if you do, it would be gone. So you will just be swimming in the swimming pool like they were doing in Sri Lanka just a year or so ago. So that's how it happens all over the world. That's number one. Number two, if Ruto were to resign, things will fall apart. This is the red herring. This is the scarecrow that they are throwing. Aren't there chaos in Kenya as we are speaking? There are a lot of people that will tell you that when you go to Osoro's house and you find 54 employment letters from the TSC, for example, that did not go through the TSC, that Osoro simply writes himself in his house. People that Sudi just hires from his house, for example. Isn't that the definition of chaos?